In 2015, world leaders agreed to adopt 17 Sustainable Development Goals during a high-level plenary meeting of the UN General Assembly. They are known under the title Transforming Our World, the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development, and are the successors to the Millennium Development Goals from 2000. The SDGs align the environmental, social, and economic dimensions of development worldwide. Jordan is taking part and is working nationally to implement these goals.
The 2030 Agenda and achieving the Sustainable Development Goals is a top priority for the government of Jordan. One of the critical achievements that Jordan has achieved in 2017 was to submit our national voluntary report to accelerate the implementation.
Jordan faces several pressing environmental challenges. This is why it's important to implement SDG 6, which refers to access to water and sanitation for all, SDG 7, which involves access to affordable, reliable, sustainable and modern energy for all, and SDG 13, which includes urgent action to combat climate change and its impacts.
For 4 years we were talking that Jordan was the fourth country poor in water. Now we are talking about the second country.
According to the 2017 Voluntary National Review for Jordan, the average daily water consumption is 74.7 litres per capita per day. The government is working to raise this to approximately 122.6 litres per person per day by 2030, which is still well below the global average. Jordan is also one of the few energy resource poor countries in the West Asia-North Africa region, while rapid population growth is expected to further increase energy demands.
Jordan has no natural resources in terms of energy, so all of our energy was imported. Always that was a burden on the economy, on the public, on the country as a whole.
The pressure on natural resources is further exacerbated by climate change. A lower annual rainfall is expected, as well as longer dry seasons. Rural areas in Jordan are in urgent need of proper adaptation strategies.
Before that, we were talking about climate change in Jordan as it's a future impact and an imaginary consequences, but now we are witnessing it day by day.
Because the Sustainable Development Goals are interlinked, we need to work collectively to implement them.
We don't just need PR speaking about the solutions of climate change, or we don't need only civil society speaking about solutions of climate change, or only the government. It needs to be a collective working issue.
A major challenge is how to prioritize and at the same time to localize the SDGs. And so that's where the way in which, maybe the manner in which it has been written doesn't always address the national component. And this is a challenge I think that we should embrace and see where we can, really make that method of think globally, act locally come into play. When we look at the SDGs and 2030 Agenda, we have to really start thinking of how this can support the national development framework.
Implementing the SDGs is an opportunity to turn Jordan into a country where everyone has sufficient access to clean water, where sustainable energy is available for all without adding pressure on natural resources, and a country that decisively plans to mitigate and adapt to climate change.
Once we could achieve the SDGs and have a good environment, good infrastructure, it means good investments could come to this established country.
At the end of the day, we should think for what is good for Jordan. And in my opinion, what's good for Jordan is to be a clean, green, renewable energy country.
So the biggest opportunity, I think, is really the SDGs provide a venue for the critical issue, the most strategic issues that Jordan has been contemplating for a long time to see the actual realizations. We have a number of policies, processes, all geared to address the real challenges of Jordan. I think the SDG provides a platform to do that and to attract international support.
What we need to ensure the success of achieving the SDGs is a continuous process of national consultations that keeps deepening the national ownership by government, civil society, private sector, and all other organizations working hand in hand together as one national team to achieve the SDGs.
in Jordan, through implementing the Sustainable Development Goals, we are determined to be the first generation to take transformative steps that are urgently needed to shift our country onto a path of resilience and sustainability.